are listening to and countless other educational materials. It's a safe place for teachers to share their incredible stories, struggles, and triumphs. The educational system as we know it has changed. Here's your host, Dr. Yvonne.
Hello, 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 and good evening. This is your girl, Dr. Yvonne. And I am here live with my podcast, the Teacher Talk Tuesday. I'm here on another Tuesday to talk about Teacher Talk Tuesday. Today's topic that I want to talk about is teacher protection. Teacher protection. What do we have to do to be protected as teachers? I can remember when I was in Illinois, I got suspended for 3 days under investigation because of something a parent had said that I did. And it was a suspension without pay. Mind you, it wasn't warranted. I wasn't worried because I knew the allegations weren't true. However, being a part of the teachers union, I thought I'd have some backup, but I didn't. 13 years being in that district, paying into the teachers union, and when something happens, you expect them to be there to support you or to be able to have your back to help you be able to keep your job. Well, they did absolutely nothing. So I had to depend on God. I had to pray. I had to go into my secret place and do what I knew to do, because the powers that be, so to speak, weren't doing anything to help me. Now, the other reason why they weren't doing anything to help me is because our steward, our representative for the teachers, was in the bed with the superintendent. And I don't mean laying in bed with them and sleeping with them, but I mean they were buddies. They were friends. They would go out to eat together. They would have dinner together. They go to each other's houses and sip wine and cheese and crackers. So how are you going to defend me as a teacher if you sleeping or spending time with the enemy, the person who's trying to take me down? How are you going to come to my rescue and defend me when you got to go up against your best friend? It doesn't work that way. So even, from that point on, I stopped being a part of teacher unions. I'm not going to continue to put my money into a union, into a place that's supposed to protect me, but then I have no protection against what's going on in the classroom, what's going on in the buildings. Parents can write up allegations and say whatever they want to say, and then you can get suspended and be asked to be removed from your classroom without notice. But yet you're paying into this organization that's supposed to be protecting you and protecting your values and your job, and they don't. So when are we going to have some protection for our teachers? That's all I want to know. Because in this day and age, we got kids that will lie about anything, say whatever they want to say. You got parents that don't even talk to the teachers. They don't know what's going on with their kids in the classroom, in the school. They don't know what's happening with them. But yet your child can come home and feed you a story, and instead of you even contacting the teacher, you go straight to administration, or you go above their head, and then they have to do something because their boss is breathing down their neck. I'm gonna be honest. That was how I got wrote up twice last year, because of a situation where a parent went straight to. Now, mind you, I called the parent. I talked to the parent about what happened and the situation, and everything was fine. So I thought. But once I got off the phone with her, she called the principal. She had already called the superintendent and the other people above the superintendent, and they pressured her to do something because of some words that were said that weren't even directed towards her child. It was a ploy to help her child, but she took it in a negative manner because her child didn't understand what was being said. And after I explained it to her, she was like, oh, okay, well, that makes sense. But yet you still went to the higher ups and you decided to do a write-up because we don't have a leg to stand on. And there was no investigation. There was no one came and talked to me about what happened. No one asked me what happened with the situation. To be honest, I went to the principal and told her what happened before the phone calls were even made. But yet I still got wrote up. So when will the teachers be protected from those who can just come in and say whatever they want to do and put your job in jeopardy, put your livelihood in jeopardy? We don't have a leg to stand on. But you want us to come in here and you want to work us like workhorses. We don't get paid enough to do the stuff that you want us to do, but yet you don't protect us when we try to do what we need to do in the classroom to make sure the students in there are getting an education. We have disruptive kids, and same thing, it happens year after year after year. You have a child or maybe two or three that are disruptive in the classroom. There's no disciplines actions going on. There's no disciplinary actions. There's no disciplinary policy other than, oh, write them up 5 times. And then once you get 5 offenses, then you can send them to the office. Well, by the time you've done something 5 times, maybe it's a habit. It's a little late to be trying to correct behavior now. Prime example, I called a couple of parents today. Child was sleeping in my class. After waking him up twice, I called the parent and told them they were sleeping. Well, this child got on the phone. Well, no, mommy, I wasn't sleeping. I just had my head down. And I'm looking at her, I'm like, what? And her response was, okay, well, baby, you know, you can't put your head down. You have to keep your head up because she's going to think you sleeping. I was like, think. I'm like, no, ma'am, he was asleep. I called him 4 times and he didn't hear me. If he just had his head down, he would have heard me call him. But this is what we deal with. The parents come to the rescue of the students instead of telling them what they need to do. Then when I told her he failed an assignment that he needed to correct because he didn't give all of the information he needed, he didn't answer the question, he didn't show evidence, all the things he didn't do. Oh, all of a sudden, well, didn't mommy tell you that this is what you have to do? You have to show evidence, you have to give reason for why you do something. Yes, mommy. So why you not doing it? You ain't done it all year. But all of a sudden, you want to act like, oh, I teach him this. I teach my child to do that. But they're not doing it. But then y'all want to come at the teachers when your child is failing, when they're not doing what they're supposed to. When I've called you and told you about their behavior, nothing happens because you want to sugarcoat it and you want to pamper them and you want to give them a little pat on the hand. Stop. Excuse me. This is what we're doing. No, it's time out for that. We go to parents and nothing happens. The parents don't do anything. They just give them a little pat on the hand. You said you can't send them to the office because they haven't had 5 offenses yet. So you have to write them up first. I mean, really, had a child went on a field trip, told the parent, sent a letter home and said, because of your child's behavior, he needs a chaperone in order to go on this field trip. You need to come with him or someone over the age of 21. Guess what? They opted to keep him home from school. Instead of you dealing with your child's behavior, you condone it by letting them stay home. Instead of telling them, okay, look, I'm gonna go with you and make sure you on point and you doing what you're supposed to do. Called another parent, told them their child was in there drawing instead of doing their work. You got 3 missing assignments, but you got time to sit in my room and color and draw? Oh, their response was, well, honey, you can't draw until you're done with all your work. Well, you ain't did your work. And no, you can't tell your child he can draw in my classroom when he's done with his work. That's not an option. You better pick up a book and read. Let me run my classroom and you run your house. Well, hopefully you'll run it. Because I don't want you trying to run my classroom the way you run your house, because your kids is running rampant and doing what they want to do. But we don't have the protection that we need as teachers to be able to do what we want to do. Writing up, talking about grades and all this stuff and things that need to happen. But the kids are not up to par where they need to be, where things can happen. But it's the teachers that's always being called on the carpet. Make it make sense for me. We need to make it make sense. We need to stop pampering and pacifying these kids. We talk about being responsible, and the kids need to be responsible. Well, let's make them responsible. Do your work. I told my kids this week, I'm like, I'm not giving y'all 2 and 3 weeks to finish an assignment. I had a student in my classroom, Lord, I kid you not. He was working on an assignment. It took him 4 hours to answer one question because he couldn't figure. How is it taking you 4 hours to answer one question? You ain't gonna never get nothing done. But you want grades. And I told him what he needed to do. Pick one of these and tell me, explain to me why you chose it. That's all he had to do. In your own words. There was no right or wrong answer, and it took you 4 hours. But you looking for grades. We got to understand that everything is not happening the way it used to happen. We have to be able to reach these kids where they are. We have a scope and sequence as to how we're supposed to teach, what we're supposed to teach, how long it's supposed to take us to teach. Okay, you can tell me I'm supposed to teach a concept in 2 days. Guess what? They don't get it in 2 days. So I'm supposed to teach this concept, give them some practice, and in 2 days I'm supposed to give them a test over. Guess what? Tried it, didn't work, failed miserably. Went over it today. Went with a class. Went over the text strategies or text structures, description, cause and effect, compare and contrast, sequence, chronological order. What else? What else am I looking for? Problem and solution and question and answer. I read the passage with them. It's in the video. It was a video. We went through, I played it, I listened to it, I had them listen to it, we talked about it, we worked through it, and it gave an example as to why authors use different text structures to write their articles. Why do they put subtitles and titles in there to give you information to help you figure out where to go to read the story to get the information that you need to get? Why, after the video went off and we discussed it, I asked the students to answer the question. Why do authors use titles and subtitles in their articles? It took 20 minutes for me to get an answer. Where is the responsibility and the accountability of those that need to be learning this stuff? Because I am busting my tail trying to get it through, but I can't beat it into their head. They've got to want it. It's got to some kind of way. It's got to absorb in there. But like I told them, y'all can memorize all of these TikToks and all of these cheers, but you can't memorize or remember what you read in a story. You can't remember what you learned, 5 steps, 5 text structures. You can't remember that, but you can remember a TikTok. You can remember a cheer that has multiple steps in it. But if I give you something to do, you can't remember what to do step by step. You coming back to me every 2 seconds. What am I supposed to do next? What am I supposed to do now? Did you do that on the cheerleading squad? I guarantee you don't. Because if you did, they'd kick you off. But these are the things that we're doing. We're putting our kids in these things. They're playing football. They're playing basketball. They're learning all of these plays. They know how to run. They know how to go here. They know how to do this. They know how to ditch and dodge and get away from the people without getting hit. They know how to listen to them plays and know hike forward, food, and turn, run, and split, and we're going to hit you with the ball over here. They can remember all of that, but you can't read the story and remember what it's about. Our priorities are messed up. But when it comes down to the grading process and getting grades for things, and the students don't have the grades, then it's the teacher's fault. And there's no protection for us. What are we not doing? I want to know what I'm not doing. I'm doing everything. I'm the nurse. I'm fixing wounds, counseling kids on situations and issues, redirecting, diffusing fights and mediating stuff. I'm doing a whole lot of stuff in my classroom that somebody else should be doing. But then if I send them out of my classroom to go get that help, Now you've missed out on instruction. And it's going to be my responsibility to bring you back up to par. It's a catch 22. A catch 22. We spend more time dealing with stuff outside of education in the classroom than we need to. Kids coming in with issues, they want to talk. Okay, baby, I don't want to just shut you down and tell you I can't talk to you right now, but I've got to teach. But that's what it boils down to. And I got kids that come in and want to hug me and want to stand there and hug me for 5 minutes. Baby, I don't have time for this. I love you and I understand you want the love, but I've got to teach. I can't just stand here hugging y'all. I got to put something in you. But their mentality is not there. What they're there for is a blur, because they can find time to be distracted by everything going around them and not get done what they need to get done. And the big kicker for me is when they get to a point where they don't want to do any work or it's getting too difficult for them, they want to go to the bathroom. Bathroom break, bathroom time. No, I have a scheduled time for bathroom. You cannot go during my instruction time. You cannot go 10 minutes into class and 10 minutes before class is out. Excuse me. That hurt. But we have to be able to condition our students. We're taking them to a play on Monday, and I'm trying to show them the movie about the play that we're going to see, and they can't even sit still and watch the movie without talking and playing and giggling and acting silly. I'm sure when they go to their trips, again, football practice, football games, you're not giggling and laughing on the sideline. You're paying attention to what's going on the field. You're not giggling and laughing while you're on the side waiting to do your cheer. You paying attention to what your captain is telling you. Why don't we have the same concept in school? Why can we not pay attention in school? I don't know. Maybe parents don't take their kids to the movies anymore. I mean, I remember taking my son to the movie every weekend. Every weekend. From the time he was able to sit up and watch a movie until he was grown. We had a date night. We went to the movies every week. So exposing, I took him to the theater. He got to be able to experience live plays. He got to go see Color Purple. He got to see Wicked. These are things that I took him to see. He got to see Blood Not Buddy, play, Drumline, on Broadway. All of these things. We have to expose our kids to stuff so they know how to act when they get there. You know, I had a person told me, a teacher told me one time, she was like, if you don't know how to do it, act like you do. I thought that was the coolest thing ever. If you don't know how to do it, act like you do. Don't come out here and embarrass me. So let's put on our acting gear and go out there and do what we need to do and put things in order. But we have got to start taking some responsibility for what's going on with the kids and taking some of the responsibility and some of the weight off of the teachers, because we have no protection. There's nothing for us. We doing everything we supposed to, but ain't nothing good enough. When is it going to be good enough? Because I remember teaching my child how to read when he was 2 or 3, teaching him how to write his name, teaching him how to tie his shoes. I don't see that now. I told the child to tie his shoes the other day, and he told me he didn't know how. Excuse me? But if you're in 4th grade, how you not know how to tie your shoes? But we focused on all of the wrong things. All the wrong things. We have to start cultivating and giving kids what they need. Yes. Kill them with kindness. Teach them with love. But it's stressful. It's hard. And until you've been in the classroom and you've done it, we've had subs leave. We've had subs quit. We've had subs say they're not coming back. When the pandemic hit, parents was like, oh, I miss the teachers. Yeah, because there's a lot of stuff we deal with y'all don't even realize we deal with and didn't know we was dealing with your kids until you was quarantining with them. Some of y'all didn't even know y'all kids until the quarantine. Not doing anything. You know, sitting through the pandemic online, not looking. That's why they said have your cameras on so we can see what you're doing. Because if you don't have it on, you can be doing just about anything. Just have it on, just to be having it on, not saying nothing, not participating. Oh, I had a lot of kids who did that. Turned on the computer and then turned on the screen talking about, oh, my camera not working. Oh, you better figure out how to fix it. Because I need to see you in order for you to get credit. I need work to be turned in. Y'all sitting in here with the thing on and y'all over there playing video games while you sitting in there watching TV. One kid did it one time and he forgot that his camera was on. He didn't realize his camera was on. And he was playing video games. He was doing all kinds of stuff. All kinds of stuff. Now, the kicker part about it is that we were told to record all of our classroom sessions. So guess what? Everything he was doing was on the recording. So when I called his parents and told them what was going on, I had proof. But had I not had proof, they would have swore up and down, oh, my child not doing that. My child didn't do this. Because I had some who did that. Oh, my child said they turned their work in. They said they did this. They said it's done. Okay, well, let me show it to you. Computer don't lie. I'm going to show it to you. Here's the program. Here's the assignment that was assigned. And this is what your child has not done. Oh, you lied to me. Oh, you surprised? If you're not checking it, they're gonna tell you whatever they want to tell you. That's why it's so easy for them to lie on teachers. Because they can lie to you without question and you just believe. And it puts teachers in a bad space. It put teachers in a bad space. We don't want to be in an environment where we have to worry about a child lying on us and doing something that's going to jeopardize our job, or I can't do my job in fear that something that's going to happen to keep me from doing my job. I've been teaching for over 25 years. I've made some changes. I made some adjustments, but my demeanor, my characteristics, and how I feel about education and what I tolerate and will not tolerate in my classroom has never changed. I had to change things up going from teaching middle school to teaching elementary school because I had to talk to the kids differently. I had to learn how to do that. Granted, because Lord knows last year I was struggling with that part. But this year, things are a lot easier as far as communication. I haven't made any kids cry. That's a plus for me. I have not made one child cry yet. I don't plan on. I don't want to say yet, but I haven't because I changed the way I talk to the kids. So there's things that we all can do. But at the same time, my expectations in my classroom are going to be the same. My expectations are very high. So you can't come in here playing and shucking and jiving. Not going to work, not going to happen. So parents, if you have a problem with a strong-willed teacher that you feel is just being mean to your child and doing your child wrong, maybe you need to take a visit to that classroom. Maybe you need to sit down and have a conversation with that teacher. All of those things could help. Maybe you need to do a spot check and come up there and see what your child doing. I have an open door policy. I know they don't in the district, but I've always had an open door policy ever since I've been teaching. Because I tell parents and I tell administrators, I'm not going to do anything different in my classroom with you in there than I would do if you wasn't in there. I teach with my door open, but they have a policy now where we have to have our doors closed and locked. Because see, my thing is you can walk by in my room, and if the door open, you see what I'm doing. I'm not hiding anything. I'm not changing anything. I tell students, whatever I say to you, I can repeat to your parents and anybody else walking on two legs. I'm not being arrogant. I'm being real. My expectations are my expectations, and it's the same for everyone. I don't care who you are. I don't care where you live. I don't care who your parents are. My expectations are the same. And they're very high. And I expect you to meet them. Because if you don't, you're not going to make it. It's been sugar-coated and dummied down for too long, and the students are struggling now. I'm done. I'm not sugarcoating. I never have, and I don't know how. Yeah, I struggle to find stuff for them to do where they can be successful, but that's my job. But the district needs to supply some of that stuff too. That shouldn't just be put on the teacher. When I come into a district to teach, you give me a curriculum, I should have the resources and the supplements of everything I need to do to be able to help my class and my students that's in my classroom. And and if I don't have those resources, they should be made available. When are we going to protect our teachers? We got teachers who are burnt out from working too hard, trying too hard to find stuff, to do stuff. We got to make it work. We're losing good teachers because of a lack of compassion. We got to learn. We've got to learn how to support our teachers and how to support the building. Everyone has to work together. It's not a one-man show. It's not. I've talked to the previous teachers of the students that I have. Well, how did they do? What did they do? How did they like this? Okay, they do this. I got information about. I did research. Now, some things I don't listen to, because all kids are going to try you. I found that out. I know that kids are going to try you, and just because a child was a behavior problem, or you say was a behavior problem in your classroom, or didn't do anything, it might have been the chemistry between you and that child. I may not have that same chemistry. I may have something different. I may be able to reach that child to be able to want to do something. But we have to be able to find that. We don't want teachers to get so burnt out to the point where they just stop caring. And all they're doing is just coming in and doing day-to-day stuff. We don't want that. We really don't. We need caring teachers to be in our buildings to help care for our students. But we also need to make sure that our teachers are being protected with all the things that they're doing. The time that we spend after school, before school, during school, on our plan, during lunch. It's a give and take. It's a give and take. And sometimes we can just get caught up in policy and we lose the compassion. And our teachers feel slighted. So just giving a word out there, just have a little compassion for the teachers. If you feel something is going wrong, don't wait until there's an issue to go to your teacher, your child's teacher. Don't wait till report cards come out and it's all over and it's all said and done before you even make an attempt to even reach out to a teacher. Show that you care. It's a partnership. We work with the teachers and parents and administrators. We've got to work together. Like they said, it takes a village to raise a child. And that is true even more so now because of all of the stuff going on and all the things happening with the COVID and the kids on their own. Parents still got to work. They online. They got to trust them with the teachers and making sure that they actually online doing their work. It takes a village. You can't do it all. And neither can we. But we need to be able to have some things in place to protect our teachers against allegations that are not true, or just because somebody was feeling some type of way that day. Because words, you can't take words back. And once you set things in motion, it's hard to take that back. It's hard to take that back. But in the meantime, it's destroyed lives. It's messed up the routine of things that need to happen. So we have to be careful. We need to think before we speak. And especially think about what it is that you're about to do to somebody else. And think, would I want that done to me? Would I want someone to do that to my parent? Things to think about. Things to think about. So again, that's my soapbox for today. And just talking about protecting our teachers in all aspects. If you're in the unions, y'all need to step it up. I promise you, I haven't found one yet that I trust. That's just me personally. Personally, that's just me. So find somewhere that you can help. Give them a push. Give them an encouraging word, something. Send them a card. Don't have to be a whole lot. Just show them that you care. Show them that you're there. You beside them. You know what they're going through. All right, because most administrators were principal, were teachers at one point in time. So we should understand. We shouldn't get to them positions and forget what it's like to have to go through those things. I understand you got people above you and people higher than you that you have to answer to, else you're gonna lose your job. But I had a principal one time who could care less about what the superintendent was doing if it affected her building in a negative way. Or if she felt like it was taken away from her building, she wasn't doing it. She didn't have it and she didn't do it. I love that woman to death, and I worked under her for 2 years. Well, I worked under her for a year, and the year I came, she left. She was leaving. She was going out, and she took half of her staff with her, and she went to another district to be a superintendent. So it never had a principal like her after that would stand up. I mean, you have these. She refused to leave her building to go sit in an office with other principals, with the superintendent, sip coffee and tea and have crumpets or whatever, and discuss stuff when she had people in her building and her kids were there by themselves with no administration. She wouldn't do it. She refused to do it. And she just told the superintendent, she was like, I'm not coming to that meeting. Y'all not talking about nothing. I got work to do here in my building. But we have people that ain't gonna do that. They scared to lose their job. We got to take care of our buildings. We got to make sure our teachers, and our staff are protected and safe. Because people start flying out, mouths start opening, and stuff just start going every which way, and people say what they want to say, and oops, oh, I didn't mean to say that. Oh, that was an accident. Too late. It was heard. It was said. Now we're in trouble. Now it was like, oh, I didn't mean it. How we do that? It was like tag, take it back. That's not how that works. That's not how that works. So the rest of this year, think about your teachers. Think about your teachers. Pray for them and make sure they're protected. Okay, thank you for listening. It's your girl, Dr. Yvonne, the teacher that talks. Until next time, be blessed and have a good evening.
Thank you for tuning in. If you've enjoyed Teacher Talk Tuesdays with Dr. Yvonne, tune in next time for more incredible stories, struggles, and triumphs.